A is supplying to B and raise a tax invoice. So A is filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. Suppose this transaction takes place in the month of April 2021. So when A will file the GSTR 1, then in GSTR 2A of B, all the descriptions what is mentioned in GSTR 1 that will come, which include the GST registration number of A, invoice number, date, etc., etc. But the added new features is that here it will also show the GSTR 3B filing status of A, whether A has filed it or not, because this is important to understand whether B is entitled to get the credit on the basis of that status. Apart from that, there will be two more features. One is that date of filing of GSTR 1 and period of filing of GSTR 1. We know that GSTR 1, which is monthly required to be filed, and that filing date is normally by on or before 11th of the subsequent month. Now that this new amendment has taken place in Finance Act 2021, where it is mentioned that if it is not filed on or before the due date, then you are not entitled to get the credit. So all this information is very important to determine whether you are eligible to take the credit or not. In GSTR 2A, information is reflected in GSTR 2B, except two exceptions. One is that in 2B, there is no filing status of GSTR 3B is mentioned. Second, in 2B, there is a eligible or non-eligible credit is mentioned, which is not mentioned in GSTR 2A. And from 2B, GSTR 3B is required to be computed. But if you missed any invoice in April of GSTR 1, that invoice if you captured in September, then this will not reflected in GSTR 2A of September, but it will be reflected in GSTR 2A of April. But the same thing will be reflected in GSTR 2B of September.